Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And today, the map we're going to be exploring is one I'm actually really excited for, and that's GMOD. Now, this is by the same creator as two maps that I played previously. You might remember them as Liminal Gallery and Liminal Gallery 2. Now, the first one was more or less exactly what it sounds like, kind of a series of art gallery-esque exhibitions of liminal-looking artwork and architecture. Now, the second one, despite being called Liminal Gallery 2, was actually quite an evolution on the concept, and in many ways it felt a lot darker, not only showing liminal architecture, but also more sort of dark, dreamlike spaces and even a few more familiar, more grounded-looking things. Now, this one, I imagine, is also going to be more an evolution than a sequel. Although I do wonder which aspects it'll be evolving on because, well, like the previous two maps, we begin in this boxed room. Although, it looks like we do have some things to read before we get started. Now, this map actually, in the workshop page, says this was made for the librarian, which is pretty cool. In fact, my logo was actually even featured on different areas of the previous two maps. So let's have a look here. Welcome to Melanade, made by Shady Milkman. The map is heavily scripted, oh geez. Oh, geez, what are you gonna pull on me? All music in this map is copyright free. Okay, that's just the brain bleach I needed to be able to move forward with this. Oh, and finally, an answer to my question. All paintings were generated by Midjourney and DALL-E 2. But I've allowed myself to get a little bit sidetracked here. To finish my thought, this map is called GM Melanade, thus making me think that it's going to be expanding on something that was really more of a joke in the previous two maps. And that's the ominously positioned, almost watching melons. Just watermelons, at least one per section. Always seeming like they were there to, monitor my progress or getting up to no good while I wasn't looking. The title of the map sort of makes me think that they'll be more at the forefront of whatever's going on here. Ooh. Nice place. Almost makes it feel like I'm getting the VIP treatment. Or I'm being walked to a meeting with the VIP, who may have some bad news for me about my future. Whoa. Music almost makes this serene. Even though this image bothers me quite a bit, it's almost like walking at the balcony of, a roller rink or something. The neon lights in the ceiling and the angled supports going down, but instead of looking down at sort of an arena below, it's just straight into water. It's the kind of thing that, because I associate this image with things going on below, well, it makes me think that there's a lot going on beneath this murky surface. With a splash of 90s just all over it, which I guess adds an element of dreamlike nostalgia as well. And like I said, even though this image should bother me, that music is actually really calming. It's almost familiar. There was a little bit of recognition when it first started playing, and I can't really place where it's from. And so it begins. Now it's almost like they're digging their own little corners just so there can be shadows for them to plot from within. Oh, wait, I've just realized... Oh, no, never mind. I thought this was like a half wall or I guess like a 3/4 wall and a gap above it, but it looks like it just slopes up towards the ceiling. Really interesting architecture where everything sort of like pulls my view up and to the left like this. Makes it almost feel like the landscape is tilting this way and gonna make me slide into the water. Actually, this music sort of makes me think that maybe, like, I know this is a dream, and I'm just kind of willingly going along for the ride. Ooh. It's like a neon chalk drawing on the ceiling itself being a black void. A lot of different hallways to travel down, and I'm not sure which I should take first. Now, the creator did say that this map is heavily scripted, which for those who watched the previous 2 videos, well, you know what that means. It means I am eagerly awaiting the return of Philip Jeffries. I'll be really surprised if that creature, object, thing doesn't make an appearance on this map. Whoa. Okay, the headset decided to do a really weird thing just as I looked over the edge that made it just jittered a little bit and made me feel like I was plunging headfirst into the abyss. Well, let's start making our way down. Oh, and don't think I haven't noticed that these stairs are all properly clipped. Oh, this map gets a 10 out of 10 for that alone. Where have you gone, music? Where have you gone? And what's behind this door? And why have you stopped when I approach this door? I don't know why my flashlight sound is different now. Oh, it's Melon Jail, is it? They've gone to the big house. Well, I guess it's big compared to them. Ooh. In fact, they can be deposited down here. They don't even bother to open this door. This is the definition of locking them up and throwing away the key. I got jump scared just now just because I was, like, anticipating a Philip Jeffries scare. But I'm gonna close you and probably deliver more of them. Hang on, let's just go around to make sure we haven't missed anything. Those guys that were in the corner look like they're due for a timeout. Okay, now the question is, can I grab 2 of you at once? I'm actually not sure if I'll be able to. I can grab you, and oh wow, I actually can! Oh, now that's crazy, actually, when you think about it, because all VR Mod really is a means of, well, accessing Garry's Mod's functions in VR. And so you wouldn't really think you'd be able to pick up 2 things at once because you can't in standard Garry's Mod. I don't actually know if this is a VR Mod feature, or if it's just one that has to do with, the mod I have that makes it easier to pick things up. If you want to know which mods I'm using, there is a link to a Steam thing in the description. You know what I'm talking about. It's a whole collection. It feels good to stick it to some melons. There you go. Oh man, you should spawn a bunch of melons right here. I could do this all day. That was surprisingly satisfying. But I do get the feeling they'll be having the last laugh. Now, Liminal Gallery 2 was a huge improvement in map-making skill, it seemed like, over the first, and it seems like that trend has continued. Because this is crazy cool to look at, and well, unfortunately, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't decide to go for a swim. Oh! Okay, well, color me surprised. This is actually fairly shallow. I mean, it's my height, but you get the idea. Oh, the size of these columns going down into the water. It made me think that it would have to be, like, impossibly deep. It's crazy how different cues of the architecture could actually lead me to make assumptions about things I haven't seen, and in fact have no way of knowing at all. Okay, there may be more down here, but I am just gonna get on out. I can probably climb this. I don't think I need to no-clip. Yep, there we go. Oh, there's even a little lip over here that allows us to walk along the edge. But we've spent enough time here. Let's get moving. Huh. And we go out a hallway identical to the one we came in through. I can always tell when a map creator watches my videos. This is one of those things. Been saying it ever since the first GM Liminal Space video. I hate rows of chairs stacked against the wall. Makes it feel like I'm being watched by a group of invisible waiters. Waiters isn't people waiting, not like they're gonna bring me my food, although... Now this is something I've not seen before. Unfortunately, there's no white rabbit to help me get through here. And it seems my hands are too gargantuan to actually operate the doorknob, so I guess we'll move on. You know, I had gotten so used to that music that now that there's nothing at all but for the sound of my own footsteps, I'm even more unnerved than I would have been. Oh! That's not a door! That's actually just a wall of darkness outside, broken up only by the raindrops reflecting in what little light pours out of here. And all these lights coming out of the ground, the chairs, it's almost like an eager audience is watching me move towards some fate that they can't wait to see me experience. I'm afraid to step forward. Part of me wants to move forth in the dark, but... I didn't feel like I could trust the ground around me. For just a moment, this whole room was illuminated. And those cutouts in the ceiling, missing the glass for their skylights, sort of reminds me of the one main structure on GM Construct. How did I not notice that? How did I not notice that? I swear I never looked fully away, but my eyes were on the ceiling. I don't know how you did that, or if it's just coincidence that that worked perfectly, but... Oh, so here it is. Here he is. If it isn't the long-lost Philip Jeffries. I knew you'd be making an appearance sooner or later, and just as before, I feel I can't turn my back to you, although it may not even matter. I'm pretty sure my headset was never facing away from that podium. Are you gone now? No? Okay, let's keep it that way. Oh, what is this? Were you just leading me to some kind of medieval torture? Can I interact with this chair at all that looks like it's designed to juice me like a lemon? Doesn't seem so. Whoa. Something about having an infinite black void with a structure floating in the distance. For some reason, that makes the scale feel so much bigger. Perhaps having no background at all, allowing it to stand out, doesn't necessarily make it look bigger, but allows you to appreciate how small you are in the grand scheme. Of the space, I mean. Something about this makes me feel like it's a leap of faith, like I need to walk up some invisible ramp, but given that I do have the ability to walk down that way, I'm not going to tempt fate. I have a feeling that if there is a way to get up there, well, perhaps it'll be revealed if I'm just explorative enough. If not, I'll always see it on my no-clip run. Which, by the way, it's going to be fascinating to see how this all fits together. This irregular architecture always takes me on so many twists and turns that it's always extremely surprising to me to see just how it all connects. What's close to what else, and what's farther than you think. And now we enter what looks to be an art gallery. I suppose this was inevitable. All kinds of vague shapes, but no labels, which I suppose is par for the course for a liminal map. You never know exactly what it is you're looking at. Oh, look. There's a window in the back, or at least I think that's a window. Sorry, I'm going to have to cause a little bit of property damage to determine the material of this. Yep, it is indeed glass. Which means that is indeed a black void outside. Now that's creepy, because the dim lighting, the way there's a very bright center, but with gulfs of shadow in between them, it gives sort of a movie theater effect, gives you the impression of night, even when you can't see the outside. And so to have something like this just further enhances the feeling. But can this really be called night? I mean, we already saw the void back there, and, well, that wasn't night, that was just nothing. Didn't we see something sort of similar to this towards the end of Liminal Gallery 2? I can't quite remember. But it's weird, I'm getting like a real familiar feeling from this stuff. And once again, connected by another such hallway, the kind of thing that looks like it leads to some kind of corporate boardroom, with granite floors and wood walls. And these spotlights in the floor all the way. This is actually what a lot of the first map looked like, but it seems a lot more developed. A lot more intentional, right down to the open ceilings and falling away ceiling tiles. And hallways that are nothing but images of the clouds. Is this something you all long to see? I suppose if you inhabited a space like this, something like the sky we take for granted would be a thing of beauty, wouldn't it? Almost like a religious image. Maybe I'm projecting entirely too much onto Watermelon. Well, let's keep exploring. That says exit, and it's the closest thing. Which makes me think it's not really the exit, which makes me think I should do that first. But then again, there's more over there, clearly. Alright, let's just try the closer thing first, and just assume that it's going to try and pull the rug out from under me in some way. Like that. That's one way you could do it. Simple, but efficient. Wait. Oh, that's a chair. Oh, I got really worked up for a second because I thought I saw like a shadowy figure disappear behind the wall. I don't like the look of that. See, this is something that comes up sometimes in liminal space maps, and I really enjoy it. The idea of a normal-looking room, perfectly well lit, but just a small, cramped exit. A literal hole in the wall. that leads off into darkness and presumably into the scary part of the nightmare. You ever have dreams like that where everything's normal, but there's just that one little thing that seems off, nobody else seems to notice, and you just feel yourself drawn to it? You know it's a place you shouldn't go, but you can't help but be pulled into the nightmare. There's a window up there looking down into this watery chamber. All right, you're coming with me. Never mind, sorry. I wasn't here. It's a good thing I'm out of view of that window. I feel like I would have angered whatever observer might have been watching me. Let's just continue to make our way around and hope nobody saw what we did to that poor melon. I mean, sure, we threw some in jail, but vigilante justice is a big no-no in the back rooms. Can we open this? No, not that I can see. But then again, it sort of has me worried that it might open later. You know, actually, now that I think about it, I came into this expecting Philip Jeffries, and so it was quite a start when he actually appeared. And now that I'm walking through here, every shadowy corner, every time I turn around, I just feel that presence of him watching over my shoulder. And so it goes back to what I often say about sequels or revisits of maps. It feels like a recurring dream where I sort of know what to expect before anything's even happened, which is a really interesting sensation to get from a piece of media. But I presume this button probably opens that door, right? There we are. Wow, it is pitch black in here. But it looks just like the halls of like a normal house or a hotel or something. Laundry room. All right, let's start. Oh, that TV looks like it's just ominously watching from the end there, and okay, let me explain what just happened here. And now, all of this has been so perfect and deliberate so far, but this just looks like a normal suburban house that's been, like, ransacked or something. And in the back, I'll be honest, look at that stack of books on the top right. I thought that red book laying horizontally was like a grinning red mouth. But let's keep having a look. Bathroom right here, more irregularly mounted fixtures. But, oh, wait. Wait, I recognize this place. This place actually appeared on both previous maps. Only those times I commented on how cozy they felt. The first time, I said that this place felt like a nice little place to hang out with friends. Perfect for creepy and comfy. All sitting around here, watching TV, playing video games or cards while looking out onto the dark night outside. The second time around, it was still cozy, but some of these doors led to really creepy places. But now it's like whatever danger this place was supposed to be insulated from has come inside, destroyed the place, all your friends are gone, and now you're hiding and surviving in what was supposed to be your safe haven. Have you ever had that happen in a dream? Had something catch you off guard by being familiar but suddenly being portrayed in a completely different way? Okay, I don't see anything else, but I really don't want to go out into this backyard now. Nothing. And also, this whole thing seems actually a lot smaller than it appeared previously. In fact, I believe last time there was actually a shed in the back that led to a whole other area. It's like this place has also shrunk on us. This is actually disturbing on a pretty deep level. This actually, if anything, feels sort of like a violation. Like my happy place has been invaded by whatever haunts my dreams. Actually, even more disturbing now in realizing that my place of comfort has been almost quarantined. Especially if you look at this as just like a representation of like my mind palace. I'm actually going to close that door again. But I suppose we can take some comfort in believing that our hangout spot has been moved outward to this gallery. Even though the evil was able to get in, it's been safely sealed away once more behind another layer. But this chair leads me to believe that while I'm still enjoying my insulation from the darkness, I'm now alone in doing so. So, it becomes clear who the dominant species in this realm is. No matter what horrors we experience, just got real jump scared by those pipes on the wall after seeing this. It's clear that the melons are in charge. Now we can go into the horrifying tiny hole, or down this brightly lit hallway. I vote brightly lit hallway. How about you? You all voted for the horrifying tiny hole. From here, we can look down to what's below. Now from below, I actually couldn't see this table and chairs here, which is weird. Almost makes it feel like I was being observed without realizing it. Alright, I knew that sooner or later I would have to come this way. Oh no. This is actually where we looked down onto that other place. Or rather, where this other place looked down onto us. But it doesn't seem like there's anywhere for us to go from here. Yep. Blub, 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 blub. Except to drop down, of course. And very interesting, that red glow being cast over this one picture, making it seem like that day is fading into the sunset. Perhaps you can be open now? Ah, you are! Well, let's keep going then. I'm sort of starting to wonder if maybe I shouldn't go back and see if a ramp hasn't appeared. And once again, I think I'm being bamboozled. Oh no, there is actually a door there, it's just completely dark. Now, I haven't seen that white rabbit, but this certainly makes it feel like I've been invited to a tea party. Now, normally when I see chairs, I feel like I'm intruding, like I'm being watched by unseen eyes, but for some reason, I feel a pull to this chair in particular. Like if I were to sit down, everyone here knows precisely who I am. Well, we have 2 ways to go, and this is the less obvious of the 2. So let's check it out. Interesting. It's just squiggles and lines and shapes, and yet I can't help but see a face. A long pointy nose, a bright blue eye with an empty socket on the other side, and a mouth open in a scream, or maybe just disgust, shouting. Actually, I do have an interpretation for this one. This is actually really interesting, seeing an AI try to interpret a clock, not knowing what the numbers actually are or what they mean. To be honest, this is kind of what I feel like most days. Having a schedule that's determined entirely by me, yet very busy. Half the time I don't know what day it is, and I almost never know what time it is. And I've just realized there is in fact an area above this. Oh, it all falls off into darkness so well I hadn't even realized we're in a position to be observed. Well, let's keep going. That looks like a very 3D button. Can I perhaps get some snacks? Oh, wait. Actually, let's see what kind of snacks are in this machine. Soul Natural? It's all generic brand, although this does look a lot like Reese's. Ooh. This was not going where I thought it was. Bestow upon me your wisdom, tree. Oh. It looks like it's in a void, but that appears like it may be an artificial light above. That's not what was there before. That's not what was there before. This one particular hallway, or variations thereof, is like a recurring image that I keep getting brought back to. If we go the dream interpretation route, it's almost like I'm dreading some kind of meeting. Constantly trying to run away, but knowing that there's no way to do so. And it brings us straight to here. No matter how far we try to run, no matter how hard we try to reach that tree of salvation, there's just no escaping. Very interesting, actually, to see where we just were from the perspective of who would have been watching us from the shadows, don't you think? When I come upon a different view of an area I've already been on an adventure, I try to imagine myself standing down there, what an observer might have thought. And a room as bare as this is almost a welcome relief. For some reason, there's a calmness in the simplicity. Hey guys, what you doing? Huh. Playing the cube towers again, huh? Well, I have to say, I've never really understood this game, but between you and me, I'm hoping you win. There's just something really uncanny about walking through a facade of a town. Something about the fakeness of what resembles a living space, or a place that should be populated, but is all totally hollow. Okay, we're definitely gonna go have a look at that. Whoa. Mine. Oh, wow. This is like the scale and, I guess, majesty of like a Kingdom Hearts level or something. This is the kind of thing you don't often see with your own eyes. This is a place that's just as much meeting space as library. A meeting place for the minds behind the universe itself to discuss which direction they should take it in next. I mean, this honestly feels like the kind of space that gods would choose to inhabit. What I'm saying is that I choose to inhabit this space from now on. I want it. Although it looks like I may have to install some escalators, I can't actually see any way to access these upper levels. Oh, but this is weird. these bookshelves are actually at all kinds of irregular angles and positions. Well, it actually does seem consistent to a degree, but it's consistent in its inconsistency. They're not all arranged in rows, rather in a certain pattern that repeats. I'm actually having kind of a hard time describing my feelings for this place. I mean, I said before, it reminds me of like a space from Kingdom Hearts, but I didn't really explain what I meant by that because I didn't know what I meant by that. But now that I've had a minute or so to think about it, it's the kind of thing that is huge in scale, almost wasteful in its decadence. And yet, it feels like going home in a way. Like, it almost feels like an adult version of remembering someplace you were as a kid that felt so huge, but you know it's just because you were small. Am I actually onto something with that? With large spaces potentially being comforting because it reminds you of being a child, of feeling taken care of by, well, the beings who make use of such a huge space, that being adults. I said that this seems like the kind of place the gods of the universe would inhabit, and what else are adults to children but the architects of your reality? Well, I don't see any staircases to access the upper levels, so I guess that's probably all there is for here. I may come back later on, though, because it feels like I might have missed something. Okay, so that is clearly marked as exit, which means we probably have to do this next. And this is a staircase that feels like it almost might as well be a drop. I'm actually feeling my stomach sink a little bit just because this is very steep and there are no railings, and even though I know I can't really fall, this still feels like an injury waiting to happen. Ooh. Now, this is kind of strange. This almost feels like an inversion, like my brain doesn't like red being up and blue being down. Going through halls like this makes it feel like I'm chasing something. Always just behind. Oh, you're gonna do this to me. You're gonna do one of these. You're gonna do one of these. Then I'm gonna keep doing a bunch of these. And eventually you're gonna allow me to exit, or at least I would hope so. Or maybe not. There is still the exit behind us. Maybe this leads to nothing at all. Yep. No matter what I choose, up, down, it's all irrelevant in the end. Yep, this is gonna go on forever, and whichever way I go, I'll hit the same transition. Next time we'll turn around and see just when the transition happens and what it leaves behind us. Let's try walking backwards. Well, I don't think walking backwards would change anything. I think going the other way is what would change it, right? No. No, there's no going back. This is something else entirely. For example, going back. Facing the other direction, actually just ejecting me totally. Well, let's carry on then. Hello? Huh, I can't seem to actually open it. Maybe... Oh... I should really come to expect it by now. Oh, the platforminess. These look far too rickety to stand on. I don't like this at all. As somebody who really doesn't like heights, well, I suppose I could comfort myself by telling me that it's not really heights if there's no bottom, right? Do not jump scare me by giving me exactly what I need ever again. I am honestly nervous for what's going to be in front of me when these doors open. Straight back to here. It's the same elevator. Oh, but there's no ramp. We still can't make our way over to that temple. Or at least I'm assuming that's a temple. I can see a red and pink and blue glow coming from within. Okay, clearly that's our end goal. Oh, this is reminding me so much of dream tropes because, well, I mean, it seems weird to call them tropes, but that's what they are, really. When you have that goal that you keep getting so close to, yet you can never quite seem to reach. I have dreams like that about urban exploration all the time. Having some abandoned structure that I keep trying to get into, and as soon as I do, I wake up. Or even managing to get into it and being frustrated because I can't find my camera. And I know I won't be able to keep any of the memories. Of course, being a dream, I won't be able to anyway. Wait. Was this here before? I don't think I remember this being here, unless I just missed it. Huh. Alright, let's try it. Oh, that sound is so scary. The red lighting makes it feel like it's unbearably hot here. Like I'm already sweating buckets, and this metal will be very unpleasant to the touch. Down we go. Oh, I think I know where we are. I don't know where we are. I was gonna say, I think we're in the ceiling above the gallery, but we're not. This is something different altogether. Hang on, let's jump down. Ow, my ankles. Oh, I do know where this is! This is the space... This was all fully lit in the previous map, but now the sky is night. It's completely dark in here. Pallets of construction materials, even more of the ceiling fallen away. It's like what we're seeing is someone's childhood, either under construction or, in this case, maybe even being torn down. Oh, this is super interesting, and even though the name is different, I feel like it definitely is an evolution on Liminal Gallery 2. I do think if you're to play these maps for yourself, you should definitely play them in order. 1, 2, and Melanade. And here's why. It feels like you're meant to experience these things in sequence. You're meant to see how these spaces change from, well, I'll call it dream to dream. And a set of candles left out on the table. Now maybe I can climb up here. Get onto this area. Whoops. Yeah, there's just barely room enough for me. I don't think we were able to get up here on the previous map, but then again, there's some no-draw textures up here, so maybe I wasn't actually meant to get up here. Still kind of cool that I was able to, though. Well, let's hop down, and from looking around, I can see that there's actually, whoops, some candles over here as well. Yeah, these guys are hiding all over the place. It's kind of funny how I always walk into these places thinking like, Oh, look, it looks like everyone's left. It's totally abandoned. Meanwhile, all these melons are looking at me like, what is this guy doing walking into our apartment? I wonder if that's how ghosts in haunted houses feel. Now, I'm already thinking it probably won't work, but if I try to open this, nope, locked. And in fact, I think even in the previous map, I had to do some stuff to get that to work. And you know, it's cool because I go through this and I feel like I already have a sense for what should be where because of the previous maps. But now, if I try to go in this direction, for example, I believe that to the left, we should find the witch's house. The one that we arrived at in daylight, but turned to darkness as we exited. All of this looks familiar so far, and yet, who knows what I'll actually find at the end. Yes. No longer that fantasy witch's hut in the woods. And now, an office building. Or at least what looks like an office. I saw the lights flicker just now. I turned around, fully expecting Philip Jeffries to be right there. Stop doing that. Please, 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 please. It just went out entirely. Were those plants dead a second ago? I wasn't paying attention. Okay, I am in horror mode now. Thinking back to how it said this map was heavily scripted. Ooh. Huh. It's like the lobby of like a corporate office or something. Very interesting how the creator has chosen to have this be sort of the recurring imagery that ties everything together. I wonder what the inspiration for this was. And that's the first sort of implied daylight we've seen this entire time, which gives the impression of this as a more comforting space than anything we've seen previously. It's almost like this place is almost intended to be taken as like a relief from everything we've been through thus far. Which is weird, because all the hallways that we've been put through so far feel more like an ominous thing, like being marched towards something we want to avoid. Okay, I feel like I'm missing a lot, though. There was still stuff back down the other way. And plenty over here. It's been pretty linear thus far. But why is there grass on the ceiling? It's this place. Yes, I remember this from the very first Liminal Gallery map, but it looks like it's had something of a makeover. But then again, I remember what's behind that door up there, or at least what used to be. Well, I'll get back to that in a second, though. There's another one down low. Just a little storeroom area and what appears to be a melon being cornered by its share. I'll just leave you to settle your disagreements in peace. But yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about, oh, it's an elevator now, not a door at all. That's actually something of a relief. I'm not going to go that way just yet. But the reason I was worried about that was because in the original Liminal Gallery, what was behind that door was the room designed to defeat the librarian. The room with lots of large pillars pitch darkness except for the light that filters through the door itself, and deep, deep water. Speaking of deep water... Huh, maybe not. This seems more like a spa or like pool area. But the water does seem quite deep indeed. Is that a reflection, or is the light indeed mirrored at the bottom of this pool? Oh no, it's actually not deep at all, and it is indeed a reflection. I haven't seen one of these in a while, and even though the architecture is kind of weird, especially that island over there, it does feel quite nice and like someplace I might enjoy. Let's see what's through these little cutouts in the wall over here. These look like showers or locker rooms or something. Oh, I see, it's loading as I approach the corner. Yeah, looking good, huh? And again, seeing movement in the mirror out of the corner of my eye, well, that is a little bit creepy. Especially since it almost seems like the lights are turning out behind me, and that something may silently come gliding through the darkness at any moment! Oh my god. Oh my god. You actually figured out how to get me with a mirror scare again. You showed me a mirror, and then put one someplace totally unexpected and untelegraphed. Imagine if my reflection said something to me right now, had his lips move and everything. I'm gonna stop looking into those eyes, because that's actually more than a little bit creepy. That mirror actually was disconcerting in two ways. One, because it caused me to see movement in the far-off distance, which made it even worse because I couldn't immediately tell that it was my reflection. But also just because it made it seem like there was a far-off distance. Like what is normally as condensed a space as possible is, well, impossibly huge. Let's see what's at the back here. Will we be able to see anything? No, it is a complete leap of faith. I guess we just follow the speckles. Yes, they do guide me around the corner and to the right. Straight to what appears to be my appearance on the Dr. Phil show. Well, I suppose it's long overdue. I wonder what this is meant to mean. Living room furniture placed right alongside bedroom furniture. I mean, this is a shot in the dark, but the first thing that makes me think of is parents discussing something they think their kid in the other room can't hear, but they can. Since there is indeed an elevator back the other way, which will presumably take me back to the starting point, I feel like I should go investigate this door that I missed over here before moving on. Come on. And it's locked. Okay. But now we're back here. And a new elevator appears. So this is the central hub. This is the idea that this is all about. Whatever's contained within that temple, that's what it's all leading towards. I bet it has something to do with melons. All right, open up. This is the same floor as that curved hallway before. And I must say, the longer we go without seeing another appearance from Philip Jeffries, the more his presence is felt. Oh, look. These are like windows, but they're all boarded up. The boards almost seeming like exhibits in an art gallery, but this is more like an art gallery that's been shuttered, yet the lights are still on, well, some of them, and some things still remain inside. Or wait, not art gallery, more like hotel lobby. In fact, it actually sort of reminds me of later scenes of The Shining. No, 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 you can't do that! You can't do that! I hate you, creator. Okay, that was good. That was good. Good job. Very good. You know, I almost thought you weren't gonna do stuff like that, since the first one we saw was still there when I went back to look. But nope, you still very much want me in that where's the spider mindset. Because look, if I know where it is, I at least know which direction I should be facing, but if I don't... Those shadows looked very much like a large pool of blood on the ground. Blood only visible in the shadows. Yeah, that's what this is. It's like a long-abandoned hotel lobby sat empty for years. Now an arena for some unspoken battle between me and Philip Jeffries. And the thought of doing that in such a wide-open space, yet with so many, not blind corners, just small pillars. Things that you wouldn't think would be able to hide anything, but which we've been very clearly shown provide all the advantage he needs. Huh. Okay. I've just realized how afraid I am of these melons, that for as much of a joke as I made of them, if they were to decide to go on the offensive, that would actually be quite a scary thing for me. There we go. Ooh. Oh, the way these tiles angle up and over like this, it almost feels at first like an inversion of that first chamber we entered. Only much smaller, almost like some kind of representation of it without actually directly having any of its architecture. Just a couple of vaguely similar shapes. All right, what time is it? It is almost 8:25. I don't actually have anything to do with that information. It's just the first somewhat human construct we've come in contact with, and, well, I'll grip onto anything I can like a life preserver. Hallways upon hallways upon hallways upon hallways upon hallways. Story of my life, but I imagine these doors will not be opening. Of course, I do have to try them all. Then again, I imagine it's not going to be that cruel. Do you really have to not have a door on this door in particular? This actually all seems surprisingly inviting, well lit and away in a hidey hole. This game has me paranoid, I swear. I'm just so looking out for triggers now, you know? Seeing every sort of funneling surface as a place that could potentially be meant to lead me to a dead end and then have me turn around. For example... But it's actually doing something far more sinister here. Show me a place that's pristine so that it'll stand out all the more when I find a version of that very same room, which very much is not. Blood under the sink almost makes it seem like someone thought for a moment that maybe it would all still be okay. Tried to fix themselves up. Alright. Just hit me with the trigger. come on. Come on. Come on. Bloodstains are actually really uncommon for liminal space maps. I mean, not often do you see such a clear indicator of someone before you. Where does this come out? Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. What's up there? What's up there? What's up there? I look over there and think, oh, wow, holes in the ceiling. Something bad's gonna come out of there. And then that's when I realize I'm standing under exactly what I want to avoid. Oh, it's a whole space up there. Let's just move through as quickly as possible. That's the kind of thing where I expect to see a grinning face staring down at me from the darkness. It took us this long. But there's that familiar electric hum. That melon caused someone to explode. Okay, we need to get rid of you as quickly as possible. Yep! That would have been a lot cooler if you had gone over the edge. Hang on, I want to try that again, though, because it'll be funny. Yep! There we go. Oh no, you're like the villain in a slasher movie. You're gone as soon as I look over the edge. Alright, now what is going on through here? Oh, we can't go through there. But it looks like they were having a pizza party? Oh, maybe someone's retirement. I actually can't come in here. Oh, such a wide open area. So many places to look. I'm honestly just here to see if there's any pizza left. Wait, this door wasn't here before. This door couldn't have been here before unless... No, that's the wall where it ended up. It all just has such a purgatorial feel to it. I am so overwhelmed. I'm so overwhelmed by all the different directions to travel, places to explore. This map has been fairly linear up until this point, even when it looked like it would open up, but here, it really has opened up. Huh. Actually, it seems following the comfort of the clouds may have actually been the way to go. Because this is by far the most normal space we've yet seen, very 70s modern. But at least it actually looks like a real place where people might inhabit, even if it is looking like it's currently moving out. There's a set of elevators over there. But I have a feeling we won't be able to use them, no. Okay, so here's where the conspiracy group meets. What happens if we go through... Nope. Nope, here's how they get you. Here's how they get you. They show you the most normal-looking space imaginable, so jarring after everything you've been through, and then you try to leave and realize, nope, this too is a facade. Just a facade that, unlike the others, actually managed to convince you. It's like that moment in every horror movie where the protagonist thinks they're out just for a moment. Almost being free is worse than just continuing to be trapped. And this brings us back here. I'm really hoping this will turn out to not be as large as I think. Nice little break room. Yes, which means that this little pod in the middle is one room. Wow. This company culture is extremely trusting. Oh my god, just stop doing that stuff! That was some of the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my life. What was that about? Until just a second ago, I couldn't even fully parse what was happening. That was the worst. I thought this was moving. Will it happen again if I try to go back? No. I'm sorry, my stomach is in my throat right now. That was nuts. But as usual, we are not allowed to exit until we've seen everything. Which I actually sort of like. The map says this was made for the librarian, and to be honest, the more I play, the more I feel like that in literally every aspect. This map seems to know how much I get overwhelmed by wide open areas, and so it makes sure that I've seen everything before I move on. Oh, there you are. That's much less climactic than you making a dramatic escape. This is where we entered before. Okay, so that brings us full circle. Huh. I kind of wonder then what we would have seen if we had entered this way the first time. Would it still have flown around the corner like that? What would we have seen? Huh. Office under the stairs, huh? When they run out of space, the interns are always the first to lose their good work environment. You're making me do the thing where I just have to check every little divot in the wall. And you're also doing that thing where you make sure that I'm not looking when the thing in front of me starts moving. Will it let me leave now? No. There must be something I'm missing over here. But what? Oh, right, this. I never fully explored this area. Somehow this reception desk even less inviting than the one that's in the middle of that open floor. And what you would think would lead to a skylight, actually just a couple of pathetic fluorescent bulbs hanging from the ceiling. And I knew I'd find one of you lurking in the shadows somewhere. Oh my god. There have been a lot of walls of darkness so far, but making me open the door onto one is a different kind of feeling. And I don't think I should enter here. I'm worried that's not just a black floor, I'm worried I'll fall. Do I have to try? I feel like it's gonna drop me at any moment. Oh. Oh, we're seeing that different perspective. This is the art gallery from before. Over there is the button that leads to what used to be the cozy house. This is so terrifying. It's like, we're the nightmare we were sitting here waiting for. I love games that make me question what it is my first-person character actually looks like. But then again, that's a thought that I've had as far back as GM Crot. That I'm just some emaciated, horrible creature that wanders endless hallways muttering to itself. Nobody else understands the words that are coming out of its mouth. And the reason I never see anyone, except fleetingly, is because everyone's running away from me. Oh my. Oh my. Well, brace my hands against the walls, because there sure aren't any railings here. Imagine seeing someone just look over the edge and turn around, closing the door behind them. Or worse yet, a single melon coming rolling down the steps. Flashbacks to that one Tales from the Crypt episode. No. No, here it is. Wait, no. This is not the job for a flashlight. This is not a job for a flashlight at all. This is a job for the safety Glock. I don't know what I thought that would do, but it didn't do it. You think I don't see you? Oh, it's a melon. Probably could have figured that. Oh no. Oh no! Look, do you see that spot of light in the distance? It's very faint, but there is something over there. Which means it's my job to go see what it is. Wow. My character is actually refusing, being repulsed from the ladder. Which means we're just gonna have to glub this and go bobbing for Easter eggs. Yeah. Oh, it's like I can feel how frigid this water is. Come on. Go below the water for a clearer view of what's around. Paradoxical as that sounds. It's just more melons. It's just more melons. I think there's something there. There's something there. There is something there. Hang on. I don't think that's having any effect. There is definitely somebody there. Like a shadowy figure just actually, there's something there, but it's not... It's sort of shaped like a person, but not... You're really gonna make me go all the way back there knowing that it's up there. It has the high ground and everything. You know, I've adopted a strategy recently called just press W. Don't think, just do. Don't think, just do. But we are going to keep it in our sights the entire time. We're going to ride the surface, thus trapping us in here, so maybe pick up the pace just a little bit. Well, my aim is way off. Get up there. Actually, some of these should have hit. And now we have to progress, knowing we're being followed by something more than Philip Jeffries. Why am I using this flashlight when I could be using the safety Glock? Okay, it's loaded. Alright, please tell me you're gonna open now. You actually had the nerve to do something with my least favorite room ever. Not only do something, but do the most vulnerable possible things you could do to me. Come on. There we go. And on to something not much better. Down we go! Okay, I didn't mean to do that yet. I wanted to have one last pensive look back. Oh, jeez. Alright. Alright. Well, at least we're in a well-lit room now. In stark contrast to what happened just before. So let's move forward and not worry about what's ahead. Maybe we'll even get access to the temple now, finally. Then again, if the temple has anything to do with the beings we've been encountering, maybe I don't want to go there. Oh, how did I know you weren't gonna let this end without getting more use out of this particular set of textures? Okay, safety lock, forward, forget lights. The walls are glow in the dark. Those are all the lights we'll ever need. What's out there? You a door? You are? Okay, so open then, please. You don't want to open. Are you not actually interactable? We're gonna have to go around the other way? Yeah, no, look, you jut out from the wall. You're not real. Okay, I would very much like to use the light, but between that and the safety Glock, it's gonna be the safety Glock, I'm afraid. We'll just switch as needed. No, never mind! Okay, I was yelling, so I barely heard it, but I'm pretty sure I heard like a buzzing sound within that. The entities are starting to realize that if you want to disarm me, all you need to do is turn out the lights completely so that I can't progress. Why do I feel like this is the point in the dream where I would read that newspaper and learn of my own death? No, there's definitely something. There's definitely something. That's a ramp. Oh, what kind of Chuck E. Cheese nightmare is this? You're not gonna open, are you? There's something there. There's something just barely poking above the surface of the water. Hang on. Open up, open up, open up. Let's take aim. Well, whatever it is, we hit it, because it's showing some texture glitches. It's a tiny melon. Actually, two. Another one in the corner right there. Which means we're progressing on our own, but you fool, you've turned on the lights. Which means I am now armed and dangerous. That won't be enough. It's gotta be all the— Oh my god, Darwin, I am so sorry. You have to— You can't just sneak up on me like that. Darwin, you got LEDs installed. I kinda like them. Oh wait, I see you're cornered by these guys. Hang on, let me take care of it for you. The amount of gore in this game will never cease to amaze me. Darwin, look, I really appreciate you being here, man, and sorry for the scare. But you should learn by now how jumpy I am. Anyway, you just watch my 6, okay? Right. So anyway, I started blasting. What was that? I didn't get a good look at it, but that was something we haven't seen before. That was something we haven't seen before. Stop. Oh, but this whole place is just designed to mess with me in particular. And that does— I think that's not even an exaggeration. Oh my god! After all this time, I legitimately was not expecting this. This has taken a sharp turn into being a straight-up horror map. Over here? No. What is that thing? I mean, I've barely gotten a good look at it, but it's almost like an eye mounted on top of a spindly, skinny body. At least that's the impression that I got. Oh no. Sounds? Can we close this door? Yeah, we can. Alright. Only one way for you to come at me from. which means I'm gonna be ready in that direction. Come on, come get me. Come get me. Either you get me or I get you, and I'm fine with either one at this point, but just stop this cat and mouse game. No! The first real daylight we've seen, and... Is that who I think it is? It's like a bright white version of Philip Jeffries. Almost like some kind of anti-version. In a place that, for some reason, just feels so safe. Actually, this is the first, like, real sky we've seen. Or at least what feels like real sky. Are we good now? I'd like to think so. I mean, you didn't even pull any tricks. You were just waiting here. It's like a Garden of Eden where all wrongs are forgotten. Is that the future of this place? Or is this what it once was and was then restored? I wonder if this map wasn't made and then the AI images were created as needed, or if this place wasn't inspired by the AI-generated images and then created from those. Quite a great little dining area over here. A place where friends can discuss goings-on and look out over not a void, but a peaceful nothing. I mean, I suppose the word void still applies, but it's different. I don't know where the sand texture comes from, but when I kneel down, it actually looks very realistic in 3D. Oh, there's a melon hiding in this cabinet. 2 melons! Oh. Another one of those buttons. This place feeling almost like some kind of blissful afterlife, somehow brought down a peg by the presence of profane human technology. I guess we're being rejected. Not good enough for paradise, although Philip Jeffries and the melons were, which makes me question my place in this whole thing. But for better or worse, just keep pressing W. Ooh. An artificial moon floating overhead. These huts and shacks amongst the shallow but clear water. Once more in darkness, but nevertheless very cozy. Like a pleasant dream, or rather when you're just on the edge of dreaming, sleeping in a cozy bed, knowing you have nothing to do later, and you can sleep in as long as you want. Feels like the kind of thing that might air at the end of a relaxing kids show on PBS. That looks like a good spot to sit down. And it seems like this space has been reserved for me. I have climbed up onto my bed, jump up onto here, and from here, we can just observe this little space, listen to some very nice music, maybe have a cup of coffee and read a book, and stare up at that artificial, yet nevertheless quite pretty moon. Yep, this is the life. And after everything we've been through, especially towards the end there, feels like almost a reward. So abrupt, though. If we take a moment to reflect on this, like the artwork and moonlight being reflected in the pools around us, it actually sort of reminds me of, well, like I talked about earlier, the stream of consciousness vibe that dreams often have. How we can be utterly terrified, waving a gun around and pouring sweat one moment, and in utter bliss the next. A cat staring out at the stars above? And of course, I can't miss this opportunity to be like, kitty, hi. But like all good dreams, this one must come to an end. And we have to take those feelings and try to apply them to our waking life. So without further ado, let's step onto the elevator and see what comes next. Huh. The floor on this one is a floor. That's good. And it seems this is our stop. In seeing that new bleached Philip Jeffries, this dream world has made sort of a peace offering. A truce has been achieved. Maybe we've reached some form of mutual respect. Or maybe I'm reading too far into it, and maybe it's wishful thinking. But I'm going to be ascending this and walking into the throne room without the safety Glock. Without it in my hand, it is still tucked firmly in my coat pocket, just in case anybody tries to act fool. And it seems there is but one more trial to overcome. And I see they've ribbed the walls so that our acceleration is all the more apparent. Well, just press W. Ooh! Well, joke's on you. Yep. Suckers. Ooh. What a way to have credits. Me walking is how you roll them. Revealed as we passed beyond these false ceilings. The end. Oh, bravo. That was such a cool experience. Much more a narrative than the others, at least in terms of feeling. But that's the kind of thing I've come to really enjoy. Narratives told entirely through intuitive feelings. Huh. Maybe it is like you die in your own dream world every time you wake up. But I suppose as long as there's something after, that being the waking world, and then a dream and a wake and a dream again, well, it's never really over. Who cares how many bodies you leave behind? Huh. Even climbing in is clipped. Well, let's just settle down. And this feels like a good spot to leave off. Actually, wait. This isn't over quite yet, is it? Ugh. No. We have not done our no-clip run. Well, let's see just how this all fits together, huh? Oh, wow, look at all that. Why does the room at the end sound like this? Yeah, I'm just coming back here because the creator actually messaged me and said that an Easter egg with a little bit of additional lore was added to the end of this map. Alright, so what I've learned is that what you have to do is finish the map, completely finish exploring it, no-clip back into the main world, come back here, and this door in the back, which was locked before, should now be open. And don't mind the piano music, it's just because I no-clipped here from the starting area. There we go. Oh, stupid flashlight bug. Introduction. The Liminal Gallery is an innovative concept that envisions a hyper-realistic virtual environment created by an intelligent AI. Oh, I am so glad I came back for this. The virtual world consists of everyday places that allow users to explore and interact in a new and immersive way. However, recent reports have indicated that people are getting lost inside the space, often meeting their demise, and their bodies are found in the form of watermelons. This report aims to investigate the incidents and provide recommendations to prevent further harm. Yeah, it sounds like there's a couple of bugs to work out. So we finally have an explanation, not only for what this is all about, but also for the nature of the melons and why this actually changes with each iteration, yet keeps some things in common. Actually, since the space is supposed to be AI-generated, that's very appropriate. It's iterating on past knowledge, really learning from itself. Oh, that is such a cool way to keep on theme. Findings. Our investigation found that the incidents of people getting lost inside the Liminal Gallery and their bodies being found as watermelons are true. How did you determine that those were their bodies? The cause of these incidents was found to be a glitch in the AI's programming, causing the virtual world to merge with the user's physical bodies. The reason why the bodies turned into watermelons specifically remains unknown. That's kind of funny. It's weird how, AI will seemingly form, weird fixations. In this case, watermelons, appearing both in the world and in the artwork. Alright, well, back to the regular no-clip run and outro. But this is why I do these no-clip runs. It's so interesting when we move around how we completely lose our sense of direction. We lose our sense of direction, our sense of space, our sense of night and day and how long has passed. And so it's so jarring to fly around and see that this room, this box where we first started, is only a skip away from the pillared room where we encountered Philip Jeffries for the second time. Right behind this wall in the slanted room is this art gallery. Oh, look, the movie theater sort of area where we experienced absolute terror. My hands were actually shaking as I maneuvered down these hallways with the safety Glock. Was actually right behind what I considered one of the safest and most comforting feeling levels in the area. See, this is what I love. You never know in a Garry's Mod map what's behind that wall, especially on these liminal space maps where there's such a variety of different areas. When I fly around here, it actually causes me to reflect on my feelings as I progressed through it. Because I find that when I am going through a map, I tend to remain locked on the area that I'm in right now. I tend not to think back too much to what we've already experienced. I'm usually more or less in the moment. But when I look around like this, I realize that my journey is actually a little bit different from how I remember it. I remembered it being sort of dark and spooky, leading up to a surprisingly comfortable area, and then absolute terror, followed by bliss. But when I look around here, I realize that while that is the general arc, it actually changed my mood much more often and much more abruptly than I even realized. Not only does it manipulate your mood to either prime you for what you're about to experience, or set it so that you're caught totally off guard, I do think there's something to be said about this experience as a whole. I've been recording for probably about 2 hours now, and I always say that A big part of the experience of these large liminal space maps is just how long I spend in them, how it starts to feel like I've always been there. So when a map is able to absorb you that much, when you feel like you've always been of this world that you somehow don't understand at all, it's able to manipulate you not only in the way I just said, but I really think there's something to be said about going through all in one sitting and constantly having those ups and downs, those moments of unnervingness, of terror, of bliss, and feeling all these things back and forth within what feels like a lifetime but is really just a 2-hour span. But I also think it's very interesting that it chooses to end on what feels like such a positive note. Well, I'm really interested in hearing both the intentions of the creator, the inspirations, and what all of you got from this map as well. Well, since I have a choice, I know where I'll be retiring to for this outro. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this map out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.